Hey, we're live back, finally together, not shoulder to shoulder, but together again tonight. This is Power Prep Sports. Stan the coach. I'm one of your hosts, Stan Gooden, along with the coach, Coach Greg Ennis. Coach, how's things been going? It's been a while, brother.
It's been too long, and I didn't get COVID. I didn't get distemper. I didn't get parvo, so I'm doing good.
All right. Did you get vaccinated?
I did. I got vaccinated, and everything went fine. It went fine. Just hair started growing where it wasn't supposed to.
Now you got a rabies shot, didn't you? Or
I got rabies, distemper, parvo. I got that 7-in-1.
71, and then you had to follow that up with the 7-Up, didn't you?
I did. That's not exactly what I followed up with 7-Up, but it'll do.
Yeah. Well, what we got tonight, we got special guests. There's many new head coaches going into next football season, and we are fortunate to have the new head man over at WS Neal, Coach Brandon Wilcox, who you know quite well. You had an opportunity to coach him back during his high school days.
You know, it's funny. Coach Wilcox and I, we go back a long way, all the way back to when he was in high school and didn't want to get a haircut. But we've got, I like to say that our relationship has matured over the years. We started out as player coach. We actually ended up working together at a school that will remain unnamed, and after working together, I mean, we're still really good friends, and that's what this coaching business is all about, is making lifelong friends that you see them being successful. And he just makes me proud to know that I was a part of his growth and his development.
Well, Richard Tisdale has a chat. He said Scott Goolsby, WS Neal coach, is on tonight. I think he's got that wrong. Coach Goolsby's up at Auburn, last I remember.
You remember they lost the state championship game with like
four seconds left, wasn't it?
Yeah, the other team scored like 21 points in like a tenth of a second.
Yeah, and you'd already had them holding up the map.
I did. I sent. Matter of fact, I sent Scott a text. Shouldn't have done that, but I think I jinxed him. But I hate that. Scott's a great guy and a great coach, and he's doing that program well up there.
Well, let's go ahead and bring Coach Wilcox in. He's been on the job for, I guess, a few days, and see how things are going over there in East Bruton, and see if we can reel him in here. There he is right there. Hey, we got Stevie running the cameras tonight. Hey, Coach Ennis, Stevie's doing a great job tonight. He's got Coach Wilcox set up perfectly.
Right there.
Coach Wilcox, how's things over in East Bruton?
Hey, they're going great. I've been here a few weeks, so we're getting settled in, and nothing like sitting in the office at 11 at night and talking with you guys.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No, not at all. I feel like I should be paying y'all something to be on here.
That'll come later.
Yeah. Now, Coach Ennis told me that he was in his underwear from the waist down tonight. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I hope not.
We're going to keep the camera up. That's the only deal here.
All right, Coach.
My bad.
Well, listen, I know you've been over there a short time trying to get some things installed and really from what I hear, I keep up with you because Coach talks so highly of you, and I try to keep up with you and see the things that you're doing. But it looks like you got a tall task of trying to change the culture over in East Bruton.
Well, I mean, I think, you look at it one of two ways. You can look at it like it's a tall task, or you can look at it like it's a great opportunity. And I think, I think it's a great opportunity. I think we've got great kids here. I think, I know we've got great kids here. We've got a great community, and, we're going to hire great coaches. We've got a great administration. You put all that together, with an average to below average head coach, you're going to win a few ball games. So, we've got some things that we've got to do and put in and all that, just like anybody does, and make it our own. But this thing's going to get rolling. This is a place where I've heard it said before, it's a diamond in the rough, and now it's time for us to dig it out and show it to the world.
Brandon, let me ask you something. What are some things that you want people, when they hear W.S. Neal football, that's the first things that pop into their mind? What do they think about when they hear W.S. Neal football?
Well, I mean, at some point I want it to be, man, I don't want to play those jokers, but in the early goings, I think is that the kids love each other. They're a family over there. They have a lot of fun. And we're going to brand this thing up to where we're a recognizable program around the state, and that's going to be in the stuff we wear and the way we act and the way we promote our players. We're all about providing hope and opportunity and packaging it in a way where people are going to want to play here and they're going to want to be a part of it. And that starts with getting kids out of the hallways. And, we've had a great number of players sign up. We almost had 100 kids sign up, and I've been doing this long enough, and you guys have coached long enough to know, man, I had a kid come up the other day and before school, and he said, "Hey, Coach, I wanted to let you know, can you take so-and-so off the list?" And I said, "No, he can. He can come up here and do that." And he said, "Coach, it was my fault. I wrote his name down. It was a prank." So, you're going to have some guys, not get on board, but, we want to get all of the kids here that want to play football to get excited about playing football. I think they are. Matter of fact, we had a middle school parent meeting tonight, which we didn't even have a middle school program last year. Okay. And we had 7th and 8th graders only. And there were almost 45, 50 kids in that meeting with all their parents there. So it's an exciting time to be here. I just see this thing taking off. And as far as, what do I want people to think about? we're going to be a first-class program, do things the right way. And, we're going to brand it in a way where we're a player-friendly, player-first program. And we're going to bring this thing to where it needs to be.
Well, one thing, over the years, historically, the support at W.S. Neal, I mean, it's I would put it against any program in the state as far as the fan base and people supporting the program. Tell us about, how that's going.
Well, I don't know a lot of places where you turn around and you're in the middle of the weight room, and about every day your booster club president is standing over there with a smile on his face because kids are working out and he's watching them. And he just, he might be about to go work a 12-hour shift, at the meal. So that doesn't happen everywhere. And, when you go to the grocery store, people are going to know who you are and they're going to want to talk football. And, as a football coach, that's what you want. You want to be at a place where football matters, where people care about it. The challenge is to get all that energy going in the right direction. And that's what we're going to do. And that starts with stuff like this, where people can see you, hear you, know what you're about, know where you're headed.
Well, we're glad that you came on, Coach. I know you've only been there 2 weeks now. Who's some guys that have kind of taken a leadership role and it's already starting to put that foot forward? Who's the guys that have already got in the circle and are pulling other players in?
I mean, it's honestly it's been such a this is actually week 4 for me, and to see where we've went from week 1 to this week, we've been maxing the guys, and just to see the energy that they've been exuding, man, it's not hard to get out of bed every morning. They're starting to understand the culture we're trying to build here. And, I don't have enough time to name, I could name 20 or 30 guys right now. But the thing for us is, and the thing that these guys have got to understand, for us to win, our best players have got to be those guys. It can't just be, a couple here or there. When your most athletic, most talented guys are the ones that are leading the charge, to make sure people are showing up on time, to make sure people are here, to make sure people are getting all their reps and all that kind of stuff. That's when this thing's going to flip and it's going to be dangerous. We're still not there yet. And, less than a month in, we shouldn't be there. If we were, then I probably wouldn't have got hired because, we're already rolling. But, I couldn't be more excited. You can look, we do a Blue Eagle of the day every day, which our thing is beat, best effort, attitude, and toughness. And, those guys that I post every day, those are the ones that are doing it. And they may not always be the biggest, strongest, prettiest guy, but we're going to promote our players that buy into our program and buy into our culture.
Well, Coach, how many kids you got out right now that are participating?
We actively in the weight room, we're sitting between 65 and 70 currently. And it's not a hard cutoff at this point. I got a text last night from a grandfather of a kid in 8th grade. Hey, I think he's excited about getting on board. At some point, yeah, you better be here and you better do what we ask you to do. June 8th is our first day of summer practice and conditioning and weights and all that good stuff. You better be here on that date. But we're going to be a little bit lenient until that day gets here, to give kids an opportunity to decide and watch and see and trust what we're doing. Because it's easy for me to stand up here and go, hey, we're going to have fun. We're going to do all this. And then, come to find out it's just all lip service. I think at the end of the day, we'll probably dress around 60 kids when we kick off against XL here in a few months.
Coach, that's awesome. That is fantastic. And the fan base at Neal, they're going to get behind you. They're going to be right there with you. Sometimes that can be a good thing. Sometimes it can be a bad thing. But I've seen it firsthand how the town supports not only the football program, but all of athletics at Neal. And it's just, I'm sure it's just an awesome place to be right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of unique. We've got, openings in multiple sports. And so, again, talk about the opportunity, when you have a vision and you're able to interview people and hire people and make sure, a lot of times when you go somewhere, you inherit people and you kind of, well, Coach, I got 6 guys that's got tenure, and that includes your head basketball coach and your head baseball coach and your head whatever. And you just kind of hope and pray that those guys are going to be willing to work with you. Well, that's not the case here. We've got an opportunity to bring in some people, And with that, we can make sure that they're the type of people that are going to get on board with the direction we're heading at, with the direction Mr. Hodge is heading, direction I'm heading in. And, I agree with you completely, Coach. It's a very exciting time to be here.
Now, Mr. Hodge, is that the principal there at the high school?
Yeah, sure is.
All right. Now, I think I've seen him on social media. Does he have a surfboard in his office?
He does. He actually lived in Hawaii for a little bit. I had to ask him because I was.
Coach Ennis and I had talked about that, about getting him on there and finding out the meaning behind the surfboard in East Bruton.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Y'all come by and I'll show you. We'll go in the office. I'll show you the picture he's got. Is actually him surfing when he was a young lad there in I believe Maui. But yeah, there are no pictures of me surfing. I'm not that talented.
Well, Coach, I know you got big things planned, and the region is pretty tough that you stepped off into, but I think that challenge right there, that y'all going to be up for that challenge. One thing I want to know, I know you grew up as a T.R. Miller Tiger. You probably get asked this. It's really a stupid question, Well, how's it going to feel when you face T.R. Miller?
Well, you're actually the first person to ask me that. No,
really?
No, I'm joking. When you grow up,
it's just another game, isn't it?
Absolutely not. It is definitely not another game.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, no. That game is extremely special, and just so happens I'm extremely competitive. So, and I may be a little more competitive than I am. I won't say loyal, but when you go off and you've been almost 20 years away, and you come back, look, if Coach Riggs would have been standing on the other sideline, and I look over there and would see Mr. Lynn Smith and some of those great people, it would be a different feeling maybe, but. And no disrespect to the administration and the coaches that are over there now, but they're not my coaches. They're not guys that I, grew up with, like Coach Ennis. It was a different time, a different place. And, I'm taking some of the things that aren't necessarily Miller things, but they're things that I believe in, and we're instilling them here. And quite frankly, some of those things, like a 10 rep squat max, that stuff's gone. It was something that we did to make the culture that we had over there during the heyday when they played for, 8 championships in 12 years. That was 20 years ago. You got to go to the archives to watch that stuff. So we're trying to start our own dynasty over here across the creek, and I think we got the players and the vision and the opportunity to do that.
Coach Ennis?
Well, I've had, I was at T.R. Miller for 12 years, and I have actually had the opportunity to play or to coach against T.R. Miller since I left there, and I can assure you that it's a special feeling when you're going off the field and your number is higher than theirs. You walk off that field just a little bit taller than you were when you walked on it. I can assure you of that. And it's because, T.R. Miller has historically had a really good program. And it doesn't matter if you're beating T.R. Miller, if you're beating UMS, if you're beating, St. Paul, any of those teams, when you beat them, that's got that kind of history, it makes you feel a little bit special. And, it's just it is a good feeling, but it's more about, I think, beating those programs that are known throughout the state. And when you can beat those kind of programs, then the other people in the state kind of look around and go, hey, those guys are on to something.
Sure. And listen, they do a phenomenal job over there. Coach Hubbard has that thing rolling. I talked to him just recently. Actually, I talked to him today. That we have a ways to go until our culture is to where it needs to be, to where we're competing. But I'm not putting a timeline on anything. I expect us to be successful tomorrow. But I know that great things take time to build, and we're not going to put Band-Aids on things. We're not going to cut corners. We're going to do it the right way. This is a long-term commitment from me when I made the commitment and decision to come here. And, when, like I said before, when we get it right, it's going to be right. It's not going to be okay. It's not going to be so-so. It's going to be right, and it's going to be right for the long haul. But those guys across the creek, they've done it right for a long time. And, maybe now it's our time to start doing that.
Well, what I hear coming out of you is I'm not trying to build a football team. I'm trying to build a football program. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is there is a difference between a football team and a football program, especially when you're talking about a good football team or a good football program. There's a huge difference.
Well, there happened to be one that I think you coached and I happened to be a part of around the year 2000 when a certain team was not supposed to be very good. And because it was a good program, I've got a gold ring laying somewhere in a box because of it. And, that's the goal here is to build a program. So even when maybe you don't necessarily have the most talent, you still line up and give yourself a chance to win every Friday night.
Well, I think you're on the right steps.
You are, Coach. Listen, we're going to change gears right here. We're going to let you go. But before we let you go, we do this thing that all the coaches love doing. Coach Ennis come up with this. Right here, it's called 3rd and 3.
Uh-oh.
We're going to ask you 3 questions. Okay?
And
there's no punting involved. Okay? And you just give us your best answer. Okay?
All right.
Question number 1 is, what is your favorite go-to food?
Go-to food?
Go-to food.
Oh,
I think I can answer that. I'd have to say his favorite go-to food would probably be nachos.
I tell you what, I went to a Lisco's last night, ate 2 things of chips and salsa, and there was nobody else with me. No, I love some Mexican. It's hard to beat a good pizza. I mean, it really is. Steak or pizza would probably be my go-to.
All right. Question number 2, second down. What is your favorite all-time sports movie?
All-time sports movie. Jeez. I mean, Rudy's pretty nostalgic. It's cliche. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably have to go with Rudy. Or I mean, what was the one with Denzel?
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans, man. You can tell it's
Unnecessary roughness.
It's so on my heart. I can remember the name.
The Replacements.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, that's
Yeah, those are good ones right there. All right, and the last question, 3rd down. Give us your best Macho Man Randy Savage impression.
Was he the Slim Jim guy?
He's a Slim Jim guy, yeah.
Snapping a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
Great.
Hey, guys, enjoyed it.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Good luck. Good luck this summer and good luck this fall, and hope to have you on again real soon.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
We'll see you later, Coach.
Coach Wilcox over at WS Neal got them going in the right direction, I think.
I'm gonna tell you, I would, as enthusiastic as he is, and as that town seems to be, I'd hate to know I was across the sideline from him.
I don't know what happened to your camera, Coach, but it looks like, you ever seen that movie, The Fog? It looks like the fog rolled in on it. Right there, it got that
better?
That's a little better, yeah. 100. Well, it's actually 100% better.
I thumbed
it. Use the old thumb cleaner.
Yeah, I thumbed it.
Well, I know that you've joined a book club and you wanted to get that off your chest tonight.
I got this book, and I'm not going to recommend it. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it this way so you can't see. But it's Alabama prep football, and it's the history of prep football, high school football in Alabama. And it was written by Ron Ingram. And Ron is a noted, and you know, he's known throughout the state as a journalist. Works for the Alabama High School Athletic Association. And I was just thumbing through it and actually found two mistakes that this journalist put in the book. And apparently this day and age, if you're a journalist, you don't have to have the facts. You can write whatever you want to. Because listen, right here, they're talking about a young man from right here in Covington County, Russell Gunner. A lot of people know Russell. He played high school football for Strong. Yeah. And in the book right here, I'm going to read what it says. It says, when Strong High School took the field at Coffee Springs in week 10 of the 1986 season, senior running back Russell Gunner had some specific goals in mind. He wanted to win to ensure the Bulldogs of their first winning season during his high school career. Well, I hate to tell Mr. Ron Ingram, but the Strong Tigers are not the Bulldogs.
Those Tigers.
They're the Tigers. That's why they're called the Strong Tigers.
Well, I guess he's probably not going to autograph your copy, is he?
I hope not. Then later on, I was reading. I don't know why, because that made me a little upset.
That turned you off, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. But I just thought, I wonder if there's any other mistakes. Well, guess what I found? You want to guess?
Mistake.
I sure did. Talking about Matt Campbell. Okay.
He had 1 million yards for Alexandria, didn't he?
Actually, he had 9,839.
Okay.
Had 153 touchdowns. All right, but right here, Mr. Ron Ingram, the noted sports writer who doesn't have his facts correct, says when Demetrius Matt Campbell burst onto the Alabama prep sports scene in 1992, he was a small but quick tailback who worked his way into Alexandria's starting lineup, rushing for 1,200 yards. By the time his career finally ended in the winner's circle of the Class 4A state championship in Legion Field in 1997, Campbell had become the state's all-time leading rusher. Well, I hate to tell Mr. Ingram, but that is wrong. He did not end his career at Legion Field. He ended it at his home field in Alexandria because I was coaching against him at T.R. Miller in his final game. and it was in the state championship game in Alexandria. These journalists need to be held accountable for what they write.
Well, that was probably written 15 years ago.
Actually, it wasn't. It was published. Let me see.
So what you're saying is the goods aren't true there.
Oh no, it's absolutely false.
They may not even.
This was published in 2016.
Okay.
Because it even talks about Coach Riggs and Coach Hubbard at T.R. Miller. He even got a quote from Coach Hubbard at T.R. Miller, who was there now, isn't he? Isn't he there now?
He is there now.
So, I mean, this is not an old book, but it just bothered. I guess it bothered me, one, because I know Russell, and the accomplishment. I mean, he has a national record for 72 carries in one game.
They need to get that right.
Well, and you know what? I've coached in games where we didn't run 72 plays.
Right.
Me and you coached in a game where we didn't have 72 plays.
We had a fake punt.
But, the fact that, and Russell's a grown man now. But still, these people that are reading this book are reading it and going, boy, that's something. Those Strong Bulldogs, and there's Mac, who set the record for the most yards in the state in his home stadium. How special is that?
Right.
In front of his home crowd, in his hometown. And then he puts it. I mean, maybe I'm nitpicking. I don't know. Maybe it's because I love high school football in Alabama, and I hate to see it wrong, especially by somebody that worked for the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Maybe he's had an off day the day he wrote that.
Well,
you reckon?
Apparently he had off. I don't think he wrote it in a day.
No, he may have. That's why he had those two mistakes.
Well, it just bothers me. Get your fact. That's what's wrong with journalism today. People don't have their facts.
Fake media, coach.
And Ron Ingram is leading the way in high school athletics with fake media.
Well, maybe he'll get it turned around on his next book.
Well, I can promise you this: it won't be in my house.
Well, listen, Coach, we are at 30 minutes. Coach Wilcox, a lot of great things going on over there at Neal. It's good for us to be back.
Coach, listen, I'm
ready for us to get together where both of us are not on a split screen.
It's been too long.
It has. But what about Stevie coming through with this new technology for us?
Look, sending him off to the Bug Tussle Junior College to learn about this camera work. He came back with that Sony 18 millimeter, and hey, he's ready to go.
It was double barrel, wasn't it?
It was. He's ready to go. I'm so proud of him. And Yvette made the trip. I mean, I'm so proud of Stevie.
It made the trip, but it didn't make it back. He's got a van now, Coach.
Well, he told me he was going to try to sell that Chevette, and he looked up what the book value of it was, and the book value was $98. And he sold it to the junkyard for $135 in scrap metal.
Yeah, and that was with a full tank of gas.
Yeah, that made a commotion.
Yeah. Oh, well, Coach, hey, it's good to see you tonight. We're going to wrap this baby up. We appreciate everybody watching us. You can catch us on Facebook at our page, Power Prep Sports Network. Also on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube now, Coach. You can find us on YouTube.
That's what we need. We need YouTube. I didn't know. I was trying to look up, and I kept putting TubeU and Me Too and all kinds of stuff. And finally, I found the YouTube. So I'm matter of fact, Ori walked in here and said, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to find that thing about the Me Too." And he said, "Hey,
well, we got one in a row again.
We do. One in a row.
One in a row. Hey, check back with us next week. Check our page out. Like us. Follow us. Ring the bell. Whatever you got to do. We greatly appreciate it. Till next time.